Welcome. In this video, I'm going to take a look at Adobe Lightroom Classic's import process. Here I am in Lightroom Classic, and the first thing I need to do from the library module is go ahead and click Import. And there we go. Now, this kind of works as a rainbow. I start at one side, move across the top, and I'll end up going down the other side. I need to pick my source images. I happen to have them, a group of files on my desktop in a few different folders. So I'm going to click Demo because I know that's where the images are. And across the top, I need to decide, do I want to do copy as DNG, copy, move, or add? Here's the differences. Both copy and copy as DNG, you end up with two versions because you have the original, in this case, on the desktop, and then the copy of it wherever the destination happens to be. Move is a single version, so wherever they are now, I will move them, so one version. And add, in this scenario, they're on the desktop, they would actually stay there. So I'm just going to go with copy, and I have all my images selected. I'm going to move over to the right-hand side. For file handling, I recommend minimal. It works well for me. Nice small preview. They load nice and fast. For file renaming, this is a really important one. So I want my images as they come in to have a very specific naming sequence. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this. So I'm going to go to this one here. Whoop, didn't edit the name. So I'm going to click Edit. And we'll go down to 2024, which is the same as my 2023. I do everything by the year, the month, the day, then a 4-digit sequence, and then custom text. Now you can change this here, but it works well for me because by just glancing at an image, I have the year, the month, the day, and it's pulling that from the camera. So you want to make sure your camera date and time is up to date. And then I'm going to have a unique modifier that describes the images or the shoot. So that is my custom text. I'm going to click Done. So I'll just leave it on 2023 for now. Let's call these video, and that's going to be the, video demo. So that's going to be what these names are going to change to. And I'm going to start this at 1. Don't need to start it at 5, so you can change that. Apply during import. I always like to close things down. The default here is on none. Now, most of us have cameras that have, whether it's called color settings or picture styles, they're the landscape, portrait, neutral, vivid, monochrome settings. And if you're on none, it's going to change it as during import to Adobe Color. My recommendation is go all the way down to default. And a little off the video here, there's one called Camera Settings. That's going to pull the settings you have within your camera, and that works great. Under the metadata, there's actually, I do like having a preset, and there's 5 pieces of information I recommend. So you can do with whatever name you like. I like to add the year here. And the 5 are copyright information, copyright status, rights usage terms, the creator name, and then also the creator email. It's minimal, but it works great. Now, these are all sticky windows. So once we use them and import once, they'll come up that way the next time. Under keywords, I like to have a funnel effect from big categories to small, and I'd say 5 is a good starting point. So let's just kind of pretend we're on vacation, or these are vacation images. I have a variety here. So maybe vacation, and where am I? USA. Perhaps I went to Hawaii, and I went to Maui, and there's 4. And maybe I was visiting a waterfall. So I'll just type in waterfall. Now I know these images don't match, but this is the scenario of vacation, USA, Hawaii, Maui, and waterfall. So I can really narrow down. So that all looks good. And then the destination. Now here's where I do things a little bit differently than the default. By default, Adobe sets it up by date with organized by date, and here's the format. And it adds a whole bunch of extra things in here that I'm not a giant fan of. It just doesn't work well for me. So my recommendation is go to into one folder, and then we can create our own structure. So let's take a look what that looks like. Now we're going to assume 2024. So I'm just going to start on 2024, and I'm going to go to the add sign, create a new folder, and it'll bring up a finder looking window. So I have 2024, and it is February. So I'm going to start here. And you notice I have the year, the month, the day, and then the year, the month, the day, and whatever the project is. So I'm going to create another new folder. So the year, the month, the day, Valentine's Day. And I'm just going to call this video demo again. Doesn't have to match the unique modifier, but I find it helps a little bit. So I'm going to click create, and then I'll hit choose. And what that's done, it's added a new folder on my computer that Lightroom can access, and I'll just simply click import. And you can see the copy and import at the top. Those with you with a keen eye will notice I have a lot of missing images. That's only because I have multiple hard drives right now that are turned off. I just haven't turned them on this morning because they're external drives. And so we have our video demo images, and I'll go back to grid view here. What's great about having that naming template, let's say I wanted to rename one images or two. So I'll select these two. I'm in the library module, and I can go up to the library drop down and go rename photos. And there is my custom templates that I have, and I'll just call it maybe flower for these. And I want to put that back at 1, hit OK. And very quickly, I've renamed these images on my computer and also within Lightroom. So that is the import process with Adobe Lightroom Classic.